Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the CRL stream. I'm Squid here with Hunted once again, and we're here for the final match of the night. Oh boy, I am excited here. And it's going to actually be, you know what? I never even thought about this. This is going to be the last match that we broadcast this season. Huh.
That it will. And, you know, I really wish my chair could do that. Unfortunately, it does not have the lean back feature, but that was pretty, so that was a pretty cool intro. But yes, it is the final streamed match of CRL 2019. It's kind of,
we should elaborate. The final
of league play.
Yes. For the stream, we'll be covering playoffs.
Right, absolutely. And of course, into the the LAN, of course, which will be a great time as well. And you know, like I said, it's just a little bit of a bittersweet moment. It's been a whole lot of fun watching CRL, whether it was on the A stream or here on the B stream. You know, getting to cast it as well has been a wonderful time. But all good things must come to an end, unfortunately. But the cool thing is that we end on such a good note. This is an awesome game upcoming. Cal Poly B versus UNT, battle for second place in the West.
Two incredibly strong rosters, and you mentioned it. It's if we have to end at some point. This is the way to do it. And I honestly, it's only for seeding at this point, but considering it's the Wild West, as Holoran would so kindly put it back in the last season, it truly is wild out there. So many good rosters, and this seeding could be incredibly important to either one of these teams.
Well, it's going to be UNT versus Cal Poly B. And honestly, I think UNT, not a surprise that we see them in the top, right? I mean, they have been a team that consistently performs in the CRL. However, Cal Poly B is kind of the Cal Poly A team of the school there, and they have had history in the CRL as well. But I did not expect them to come out as hot as they have been. They've been taking down some big-name teams, and it could continue with UNT.
Well, I mean, they're taking down big-name teams with the big names that they have. Honestly, if you haven't heard of the likes of 43 before, then what are you even doing? Because he's been around the CRL for some time now. But you got to give them the respect that they are doing. I'm certain that UNT will be doing exactly that. And Hunted, I have to say, we haven't really done this often, occasionally once or twice, but I want to hear your predictions for this series.
Yeah, this one I think is going to be pretty close. I would not be surprised if we go to all 5 games. It's really difficult for me to bet against North Texas just because I have so much experience watching them in the CRL. They always seem to come through in those big moments. So, you know what? I'm going to stick with my gut here. We'll say the final game, final streamed series of league play goes all 5, and it'll be UNT on top.
Well, I agree with you on one of those points, and I think that we're going to game 5. But I think that Cal Poly B has what it takes to pull out the win here in this final stream match for the CRLB stream, and I think we're about ready to get into it. The last one that we're going to be on. And I have to say, we're incredibly thankful to have had this opportunity in the first place. But before we get to that, we got one more best of 5 coming your way. UNT and Cal Poly B on the pitch right now with Texas in the orange. And Alex Storm trying to get the gate open with a pass out to 2 fast, denied rather quickly as we get underway.
There's Simi, tries to go by Alex Storm, and of course Cal Poly B in blue on your screen. North Texas in orange. D-Bank making a save there as now Alex Storm looking for 2 fast. Will find him in transition now. 43 off the back wall, makes the touch. Right to D-Bank, and Simi looks to continue the offensive push for Cal Poly B. It's a good play down towards Munku. Gets around Alex Storm, but D-Bank's there to help his teammate out. Goes by 43. Gets by Simi as well. What a goal from D-Bank to start the scoring.
And oh my goodness, if you have to respect one player, please let it be D-Bank. A wonderful around the second man. Nobody's home for that one. Munku racing back, but honestly, you don't expect D-Bank to get around both of your other players.
Well, he does it in style, and D-Bank is a player you have to respect at all times on the pitch. He is a CRL veteran, has made a lot of terrific plays when it matters. He does a great job here, scoring the first goal of the game, of the series for North Texas. Puts them out to a 1-0 lead as the first minute and 10 have gone by. Now it's up to Cal Poly to see if they can respond in kind, but it's going to be Too Fast over top of 43. 2-0 now for UNT.
Too Fast is his name, and Too Fast is truly the name of the game right here. Alex Storm with the pass down, and 43 trying to get in there in time, but again, Too Fast is just simply too fast.
Pretty sure the name of the game is Rocket League. I'm pretty sure we're still playing that.
Wait, is it? Hang on, let me check the script. No, actually, it says right here, actually, we're supposed to be playing Too Fast.
Well,
so, I think you're mistaken, my friend.
Well, either way, it's 2-0 in whatever game we're playing tonight.
We'll talk to the production team afterwards.
Absolutely.
One thing at a time.
It is 2-0 in favor of North Texas. This one comes out in front for Monkey to try to play towards the net. Alex Storm over top. 43 to keep it in. D-Bank touches it on. Seeming will keep it going. Great touch from Alex Storm. D-Bank now hard towards the back wall. Monkey has to make a touch. Out in front, Simi gets the demo. This opens up some space for 43, but he missed it wide. The demo's Too Fast yet again. Looking for the bump onto D-Bank and goal, but won't find anything there. So still 2-0, and I have to say, D-Bank and company, the reason why they have been successful in this game, Squid, is they are making the first defender, first and second defenders even, miss on those initial touches, and it's really opening a ton of space for the teammates.
I agree in full, and I feel like part of that might be the initial speed that they really showed at the beginning of the game, coming out of the gate so fast. And it resulted in Cal Poly really needing to get to the ball as fast as is possible, and sometimes sacrificing accuracy on the touches. There's another example, Too Fast just being first to the ball. That might be one of the key issues right now for Cal Poly. They're just not up to speed here.
Uh-oh, that's a bit of a whiff from Too Fast. D-Bank has to cut across to make the play. 2 minutes left, game number 1. Simi, quick shot, will get blocked away by Too Fast. Monkey wants to keep the ball rolling. He tries to deal out of the corner, has 43 in mid. D-Bank gets there just in time to see that ball away, and Too Fast will try to collect. Still the pressure on North Texas in the orange zone. Alex Storm, a slight deflection high in the air, will cause both players from Cal Poly B to go up for it. D-Bank has an opening now. Alex Storm in mid, looking for him, finds him, scores! Somehow D-Bank gets credit for it, but UNT either way, up by 3.
You know, if there's one thing I've learned about UNT, is just don't ask questions, because D-Bank actually getting...
What? How did he... Okay.
See, this is D-Bank's master plan, right? He's trying to get that MVP spot. He engineered the pass so that way he would fall on top of it just with the back right wheel. No, but honestly, a wonderful passing play. Alex Storm tucking it into the top right-hand corner. An impressive showing indeed in UNT. Again, just seeming to dominate this game so far. I honestly expected Cal Poly to put up a little bit more of a fight, and although they have 5 shots on target, none of them have seemed particularly threatening with a defender in the net.
No, they certainly have, and it's been a defensive clinic thus far from North Texas, and this is the kind of game you expect them to play. They're a very fast team on the offensive side of the ball, but they're equally as steady on defense, and that's really what I love about their game, is they're so well-rounded that it can be quite hard to crack. That's the reason why they're one of the top teams in the West in CRL 19. While game 1 is winding down, would love to hear your thoughts. Do you think North Texas come away with the victory? Or will Cal Poly B battle back? Take this one away from the boys in orange. Tweet at us. Use the hashtag CRL19. Would love to hear your thoughts. You could have a chance to see your tweet here on the stream. It looks like game 1 going to go over towards UNT Squid. A hot start for them, and the real interesting stat for me to talk about here is UNT has 3 goals on 3 shots in this game.
Yeah, they haven't necessarily had to extend out into the offensive end very often. Their queries usually fixed by just 1 or 2 attacks. And I will note, D-Bank coming away with 2 goals on only 1 shot this game. Very proud, thank you. 200% shot accuracy, because that's possible. But
well, to be honest, I mean,
he's just that good. He's just that good.
Yes. I mean, without the weird kind of stat keeping bug that we saw there, it would be got involved. Every player had one shot and one goal for North Texas, which is the crazy part to me in how little they've shot, but how dangerous every single one of those plays have been. It's kind of a deviation from what we see a lot of these teams do. They go for high volume amount of shots and try to find those rebound plays, try to find those back wall touches. But it's been clinical from UNT. They say, we'll set up our opportunity and we'll take advantage.
Yeah, it's kind of a minimalist approach almost, but I suppose you could just point out that it's almost a quality over quantity kind of philosophy, because, I mean, we saw with Cal Poly B, they threw 6 shots on target and not a single one of them found purchase. So North Texas, they just look for that one opportunity that they can get, saying, we can score that, and then they proceed to do exactly that without fail. So taking that 3-0 victory, again, with only 3 shots on target, and D-Bank stealing that one away from Alex Storm. Otherwise, they would have had everybody participating in one goal, being the scorer, that is. Overall, a very solid performance from the University of North Texas. I would not be surprised to see them take Game 2 in a dominating fashion as well.
Yeah, I mean, both of our predictions involved us going to 5 games, and if North Texas continue to play the way they have, we could very easily be wrong about that. But Cal Poly would not be in this position to take second place in the West without winning some of these close battles against some of the best teams in the league. So if there's anybody who can turn their fortunes around after a difficult Game 1, it's going to be this Cal Poly team. But immediately off the back here in Game 2, Too Fast and company really trying to ratchet up the pressure on the blue half. Comes off the sidewall, off the ceiling. Alex Storm trying to force his way through. Simi now Too Fast, push it back downfield. Just about a minute has gone by. No shots yet. Simi will get the first one there, but that's easily cleared away by out.
It is nice to see for for Cal Poly. Trying to get started. Oh my goodness, Simi only barely getting that one away. And a decent pitch by Monku. Good speed for 43 as well. This defense rather successful for Cal Poly, putting on 1 shot so far, but again, they've still been shut out in the series. Pass across by Alex Storm. D-Bank was just a little bit slow on the uptake due to a bump.
This one's lobbed up for D-Bank to try to continue forward. Gets by 43. Simi leaving it for Monku. D-Bank bumps him. 43 has to go off his own back wall. Simi's there to help him out. He'll get the follow-up touch as well. Now Alex Storm actually putting D-Bank in a tough spot. He does make the save on the bouncing shot from Simi. There's a tough angle bid from Monku. Won't find purchase as now Too Fast in transition. Comes off the back wall. Alex Storm trying to collect. Gets the 50 by Monku. D-Bank doesn't get enough on it, but Too Fast will follow. And that's the first goal to UNT.
And again, it only took them 1 registered shot. Alex Storm forcing that issue, and D-Bank going for the dunk against the defender instead of opting to try and touch that one inside. Allows Too Fast that opportunity. For UNT, I have to say, Hunted, you kind of touched on it a little bit last game. Regardless of the fact that they're being clinical on the offense and with surgical precision, we also haven't seen them make basically a single mistake on the defense. For the 8 shots that Cal Poly has put on thus far in this series, they haven't let a single one through. And their midfield presence, that is to say, has been strong in. Alex Storm pulling one in from the side as well. Again, only 1 more shot on the board and they get a goal.
Yeah, and with that goal, that gives Alec a goal, an assist, a save, and a shot early on here in this game. Really doing everything for his team now, and that's another key feature, I think, for this North Texas squad. When you think of LSU, well, maybe LSU is not the best example, but you know, when you think of teams like Nebraska, who do you typically think of first, right? Typically it's Roseladon and what he can do with that team. But when you think of UNT, all of these players are so individually skilled, they can get anything done that needs to be done. And you put them all on the same level, and that is a wonderful save from Monku to steal one away from Too Fast. But it's just one of those endearing parts of UNT is that they're so good as a team that none of them really stand out above their teammates.
Absolutely not. And I mean, we've seen that in this and last game now. It's spread the wealth so far with a goal and assist, a couple of saves spread out between these 3 players. Nobody has to step up and be a star in any given situation. Granted, they can if absolutely necessary in a clutch spot. But I really think, I believe Too Fast was a recent addition to the team. Of course, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't want to be wrong. 43. Gonna throw in a nice redirect here over the top of D-Bang. Gonna cut off my point a bit short there.
Yeah, and this is a good touch from 43 in transition. D-Bang tries to get the read, and for what it's worth, he got up there quickly, was in a good position, but just a better shot from 43.
And I'm being told Too Fast indeed is a new addition to UNT. So what was a strong roster before, you said that their entire roster is strong. But now the addition of Too Fast, who's been around the Rocket League community for some time now, has to be a threat in various different categories.
Now with 90 seconds left to go, it's still a 2-1 lead for North Texas. D-Bank touching that along the corner wall. Too Fast, trying to get the touch. There's Alex Storm. He will force it home, and it's back to a 2-goal lead for North Texas.
Too Fast, what in the world was that play out of the corner? Flipping his car upside down and then using the second jump, and Alex Storm obviously going to be there to follow up after Too Fast making a 50-50 on the back ball. Oh my goodness. What a strong play. And again, we gotta reiterate, every single one of their players is so strong. That could have been D-Bank on the back wall, could have been Alex Storm on the back wall, and we would have seen a similar result. A diving save here. Alex Storm once again pretty much flawless on the defensive side. And I feel almost obliged to give a shout out to the previous UNT players as D-Bank again plants another one in the nets. This is a team that has given rise to so many talented players. Ned Flanders and Pack, some of the previous names on this roster. They're truly running away with this, Hunted.
Yeah, this game has turned into quite the UNT show. It does seem like Simi having a little bit of some connection problems, unfortunately. Hopefully he can get that sorted out before game 3. But now Alex Storm and company look to secure their victory. They're up 4-1 with 45 seconds to go. They will take a 2-0 lead in the series. There's a touch from D-Bank to Alex Storm. Wow, he gets the double off the back wall, and it's 5-1.
And this, I'll chalk this up to skill, but I think this is just kind of pure cheese, honestly. I don't think... I really don't want to say that he had that calculated, but then again, I'm not that good, so...
It's 5-1 now, and it does seem like Simi, unfortunately, having some DC problems. Hopefully they will get that sorted. But regardless, it doesn't change the result of this game much, Squid. It was a North Texas game from start to finish. Very similar to how game 1 played out. And I'm honestly a bit surprised that Cal Poly looks so outclassed in this series.
I am as well, but I mean, here's what I'll say to that point. I would have been surprised that Cal Poly was so outclassed in this series had it not been for me watching the UNT offense, because here's the thing I'll say about it. It felt like they made passing plays. Like on the scoreboard, they made passing plays. It's obvious, they had 4 assists on 5 goals. But I never really once observed them making a direct pass out of necessity to another player on their team. They all just kind of made the play on their own, and then somebody came in just with mop and bucket at the ready and just kind of swept it up, right? So it's hard to really explain that kind of dynamic, but they all just kind of did their own thing, and when they needed support, somebody was right there for it.
I think a lot of that does have to come down to how much of a threat UNT is and just how oppressive they can be on the offensive side of the ball. Yeah. I mean, cutting off the passing lanes or just not opening up any kind of passing lanes, always having a car in those positions where it forces somebody to make a clear instead of a pass, or instead of a dribble, they get challenged. And, I think UNT really exemplifies that kind of style where we're not going to give you any time and space. We'll look for it ourselves and utilize it. And game 1, the number of solo plays that were created just because they were methodical and maintaining possession of the ball really helped them achieve victory in that game. And game 2 was a little bit different. They were more utilizing their high-flying plays and keeping the ball on the enemy's side. And it's crazy how good they could be no matter what the situation is.
Yeah, and I think again, if you told me at the beginning of the series that this is how UNT was going to play, I would have predicted otherwise, because this is clearly a complete outclass for Cal Poly B. What can they do to get back into this game is the question I hear a lot of you asking. The answer is, well, pick a god and pray, honestly, at this point, because it's going to be a rather difficult task.
Oh, no, I did it. I've
Hunted.
never actually done this before.
Hunted.
Didn't even mean...
I think we have to have a talk.
Oh, wait, no, I think we're good. Are they good?
It doesn't change the fact of what happened.
It doesn't matter.
We have to reset. And ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to tell you why, and that is because Hunted, yours truly, the man, the myth, the legend, Hunted, finally succumbed to the
first time.
He joined a team. It's the spectate button.
I mean, yeah, it was bound to happen eventually. Glad I could get it out of my system. But
yes.
yeah.
Hey, look, all I'll say is I've done it before as well. I think I actually did it one time while we were on the Rival Series set, so don't feel bad. I've definitely done it once while we were doing CRL the B stream, so it happens to the best of us.
Well, hopefully we can get things sorted out, and hey, this at least gives Simi a little bit more time to.
There you go. The silver lining. Hunter.
Yeah, of course, and well. That's unfortunate. We will get Game 3 underway very soon. I am interested in seeing if Simi gets his connection back, because he was out for a good maybe minute and a half in that game. And, you don't want to be playing 2v3. UNT is difficult enough to play against 3v3.
Yes.
You can't be down a man.
No, and I desperately hope that Cal Poly is able to get Simi back into the lobby. Looks like they got him here. For game number 3, regardless, you did mention how UNT is rather difficult to compare against in the 3v3 arena as well. So here's hoping that they can put up a fight as we move into the third and potentially final game of this series. UNT looking incredibly strong in the first 2. We'll find out if they're going to start heading up in the standings at the end of this series. 5 minutes fresh on the clock here at the beginning. Let's get things underway.
Game number 3, 5 minutes on the clock. UNT up by 2 in the series. D-Bank is too fast. Will score early on, 10 seconds in. UNT showed no signs of stopping.
Oh my goodness, and D-Bank using that flip off the back wall. Jeez. Even 43 throwing out the quick chat. Great pass in the chat, and I think that about sums up the entire play quite nicely, Hunting.
I mean, it was D-Bank's play. Too fast, just receives the pass and knocks it home. So with only 10 seconds gone, UNT up a goal in a Game 3, and they look to complete the sweep against Cal Poly B. But however, I mean, this game is certainly not over. Still plenty of time. This really scary part for me, Squid, is that UNT have scored many goals in every game.
Yep.
And Cal Poly B has scored 1 in this series.
That is actually the very thing I was going to talk about. Oh boy. Insult to injury. Come on. They were already having a difficult enough time. You had to go in and throw in the demo plays too, D-Bank. Ruthless.
I mean, it's a smart play. It gives Alex Storm much more room to shoot, obviously, if there's nobody back playing goal.
But I think the question I'm trying to ask is this necessary? Like, I'm pretty sure that goes against the Geneva Conventions or something like that. Like, somebody look it up, please.
Well, to be honest, wow, D-Bank will score again. It's his first of the game, and everybody now has a goal for UNT. But, I kind of like that we don't stop playing our game until the series is over, right? No matter what the score is, you want to respect your opponent enough to where you take it seriously the whole time. And I think UNT is doing that perfectly. And unfortunately for Cal Poly B, that just means that they've got to suffer through the next 4 minutes, and they're going to be down 4-0 now. This is just getting out of hand.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't want to disagree with you on that point, and I certainly won't. You want to give respect to your opponents because we've seen the damaging effects that can have on a particular series if you decide to stop playing to the best of your abilities in certain situations. But I feel like, there's a certain amount of, there's just like a certain amount of like a skill gap that you get to, or like just a performance gap that you get to, where you think you might just have it in the bag, regardless of what the opponents can muster up. Because I don't mean to say that Cal Poly B is playing bad by any means. It does not seem like that to any extent. It's just that UNT are out here playing what seems to be the best game I've seen out of them in a long time.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why UNT is fighting for second place in the division. And, you know, they look to secure that pretty much with a victory here in this game. They've played so very well. The only 2 games that they've dropped so far this season have come by way of Arizona, who is another, you know, CRL veteran team that everybody should know if you're a fan of the CRL, and to newcomer, well, not maybe not newcomer, but standout team in UT Arlington this season. But outside of that, they've beaten the likes of LSU. The only loss LSU has had this season came to the hands of UNT, and this is exactly why. I mean, all of the things we've talked about is something they do every game, and they don't let up.
And with 3 such talented individual players as well, it's pretty easy to see why LSU would have trouble with that low-tech and T-base, as well as Sharp. You know, they have it's not their primary focus to, you know, be talented in the 1v1 arena, but it certainly has a tangible impact when all 3 of the players for the University of North Texas are strong in that area and know exactly when, you know, LSU is going to make a passing play, etc. And they've been proving that so far. I mean, we've seen plenty of individual plays. Too Fast and D-Bank in particular, but Alex Storm has gotten his fair share as well, and they still sit relatively even for the goal count in this game.
It is still 4-0 with just about 2 minutes left. Now Simi off the back wall. Too Fast will deflect it up. He and Munku come together. D-Bank playing it out of his corner. And this is certainly a game to remember if you are a North Texas fan. I mean, we talked about it. We hyped it up, Squid. Both of us thinking this would go to 5 games. And North Texas had other ideas completely. And this is not a Cal Poly B team that plays like a B team. This is a Cal Poly B team who has aspirations on land. And they could certainly get there if they play well enough in the playoffs, but this has been an absolute thrashing from North Texas.
It certainly has, and I really don't think there's any nice way to put it. This has really been, you know, Cal Poly B getting manhandled. And I think you really did them justice to what you said a moment ago. I mean, this is not a team to be taken lightly. We've seen, you know, performances from teams of, you know, maybe 2 teams that are lesser talented, let's say. A game in between those 2 teams would be a lot closer. Cal Poly, much more talented than a lot of the teams in the CRL. They have clinched themselves the playoff spot already, and UNT is still out here pulling off double taps such as that one, as Too Fast puts the 5th one on the board, and I think we're about ready to call it.
Yeah, I was about ready to call it after UNT scored their first goal, to be totally honest with you. Sure. But that's 3 goals now for Too Fast. His hat trick in this game. It's 5-0, 38 seconds to go. All that's left is the time to run down. And again, I mean, mentioned it early at the start of Game 3. UNT have scored a lot of goals in every game that they've played in this series. And again, Cal Poly B, a team that has taken down the likes of LSU, have scored 1. In 3 games, 1 goal against this team in 3 games, and it doesn't look like that's going to change. It's incredible. It's incredible. I can't tell if it's, you know, if a rematch were to happen in the playoffs, if it would turn out the exact same way, but this has got to be a confidence booster for UNT heading into the playoffs.
It most certainly does, and with that, their record will advance to 11-2. Oh, geez. Hunted, what more do we say about this?
I mean, what else can you say? The players left it all on the pitch, and it was clear from really halfway through Game 1 that UNT were here to win, and they did. They didn't stop. They didn't stop making plays. They didn't stop making passes, and they were secure on the defensive side. Nothing Cal Poly could do about that in this game. That's it. Go back and watch the replay if you missed the first couple of games, and you get the whole story.
Yeah, and I mean, we didn't even talk about how Cal Poly played in this particular game, because I feel like, to be honest, if I'm playing on the Cal Poly side, I'm kind of incredibly demoralized after game number 2, because, you know, they tried it in game number 1, all right, whatever, you know, sometimes you just lose a game hard. They came back in game number 2, and they gave it their all. They managed to put up 1 goal, and it was a good quality goal with a pass play down the field. But after UNT was able to shut that completely down after that, I think they just kind of decided that, and with good reason, that they would just, you know, if they got scored on a couple of times right there, then just try to have fun, play it out. And then again, they've already clinched their playoff spot, so it's not too big of a hit to their confidence, I imagine. But if they meet UNT again in the playoffs, you mentioned it, it might be a little bit worrying in that regard.
Well, it's kind of an exclamation mark here on the end of league play in CRL 2019. It has been a blast working this B stream throughout the last couple of weeks. And, you know, before we sign off for the last time here, I do just want to give a huge shout out to everybody involved with the production of what we've done here these past 3 weeks. You know, of course, B-Dog, who's been the producer just about every night, and all of the admin staff for the College Carball Association. And, you know, it's awesome that CCA has gotten to the point where, you know, their talents have been recognized and have been rewarded by CRL. And I'm looking forward to more partnerships. I can't wait to do this again.
Yeah, and I mean, and to that note, a big thank you to Psyonix for allowing us this opportunity. Very thankful, and of course, that is the end of the broadcasted league play for both the A stream and the B stream. But the playoffs are still coming up, so make sure you don't miss that if you're looking for more CRL action. That's the one time that I messed that up is at the very end. Come on. Anyways, again, tune in for the playoffs and make sure you go to LAN. It's over there in Arlington, Texas at the Esports Stadium. You can find your tickets online, rlesports.gg/CRL. I feel like Corelli is looking down on me at this moment with a smile on his face, but unfortunately I don't have a special gimmick for it. But in all honesty, I'm just going to reiterate what Haunted said. A huge shout out to everybody who has helped us work on this behind the scenes. They do incredible stuff. And I'm just a good, glad to be a member of the CCA for so long, and we've truly accomplished something wonderful.
I agree. But that's going to do it for us here at the College Carball Association and for CRL League Play. Make sure you catch the playoffs. These teams still have a lot of Rocket League left to play, and it is going to be a slugfest till the very end. That's it for us. Thank you so very much for watching. We can't wait to see you next season. Q gets around Alex Storm, but D-Bank's there to help his teammate out. Goes by 43. Gets by Simi as well. What a goal from